Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry I've been away for a little while. It's just been a nightmare trying to get videos together. No other excuse than that. I've been tied up with other work outside of RD Tech, really. Well, the amp side of stuff, anyway. So today, I thought I'd show you my 2204. Well, it's a Marshall 1987X reissue from 2015. Not long after I got it, I converted it to a 2204. I love the 1987. I love the 50-watt sort of super lead kind of thing, but a bit impractical, incredibly loud. Literally, as soon as you crack the volume, the bright cap's there, and it's super loud. So, first mod was the bright cap came off, and I started using it as pretty much a fairly clean platform. And then, after playing some JCM 800 reissues, I thought, yeah, I want the 220 circuit. So that got modded to a 2204, in which it stayed like that for a fair while. No real mods on it too much. A little bit hot rodded here, but nothing really to write home about. Then a little while ago, Jason at Headfirst Amplification, make sure you check out his channel. Loads of cool mods on there. He documented the J. Key Lee mods, which is the sort of California mods minus the diode clipping. The Xena diode clipping, very famous kind of that kind of tone, hot rodded Marshall, and I thought, well, why not? Why don't we try them? I put them all in, really liked the sound of it, but then it was like, well, it just does that thing, and I still loved the standard 2204 circuit, so pulled all the mods out, and as you can see here, I've got 5 switches on the front, which then switch in each mod. Each single, there's only 5 components. Oh, and there's a resonance control at the back that's also been put in. So you've got 6 parts to the mod, really. But I've made them all switchable. And so we'll go from a stock 2204. These two don't do much. And we'll bring in each mod and see what they do. I did make a couple of value changes personally. I also really like the 4-in Meshuggah, or the Nameless, whichever one you want to call it. So I changed where on the standard mod on this one changes the coupling cap in the preamp circuit. So the stock value is a 0.02 coupling cap, and the mod calls for a 0.0022. I've changed it for 0.001. I wanted a little bit tighter on the low end. I wanted to get, so when I start doing down tune stuff, it's a little bit tighter and gives you that kind of the Meshuggah-y, the Nameless style. So without further ado, less chatting, I'll start doing some playing. Here is the stock 2204. A great AC/DC kind of tone. Obviously, all the mods are off. I've got the gain on 6, the master volume about 3, treble and middle on 4, bass on 6, presence on 6. The resonance control is off, so it's kind of the stock Marshall value. So it's out of the circuit. It would just be running the negative feedback. So it's just the presence control is active. Running into my load box, which is then going into the HX Stomp, which we have my favourite EAS Studios IR of the EVH 4x12 mic'd with an M160. I think it's just slightly off the cone. And then into just a room reverb. Great Aussie rock overdrive. Let's go to the max gain. This is as much as you'd get out of a 2204. I think this amp just has a hair more than some of them I've played. Kick-ass amp, love it. Right, let's jump to the mods. So I think I'll do the more subtle ones first. The big change is here where we change the bypass capacitor on the cold clipper, where we really smack it. We can get a big gain boost here. So this one changes the coupling cap value to tightening it. I call this more of a tight control. This is gain, tight. This control is interesting. This one puts a 220k resistor across the gain pot. It's more, once you've got all that hairy gain in it, you can actually then dial it back just a hair, just to stabilize the circuit a little bit more. This one is the fat cap switch, and then here we bring in a capacitor at the end just before it goes into the tone circuit, just to roll off some of the highs, because it gets, like I say, it gets a little bit unstable and a little bit much. Although it's actually kind of cool if you don't have it on. It's just a fine tuning. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll bring in the 220k across the gain. You'll hear gain reduction here. So this is without it. I'll bring it in. I'll play a chord and then bring it in. You'll hear. So here, a reduction in gain. It feels like it tightens it up a touch as well. Like even in the stock circuit, just bringing that gain down sometimes can give you a different flavour. We'll bring in the fat cap. So yeah, I'll put the gain drop across the gain control, and now I'll bring in the fat cap. You can hear it a bit more when the gain's a little bit lower. It's more of a feel thing when the gain's higher. Brings back some of that gain and puts it in the lower mids a bit more. Give the treble roll off. Very high frequencies. It's just stopping any oscillations in the circuit. Could change the value and make that a little bit more obvious. I might do that in a later stage, because then I can bring the treble control up and then roll off that later on, so we can a bit more tone shaping. Let's bring in, okay, so we've got 3 of the mods on, like I say, the more subtle ones. I'll take off the volume control. Some modest gains already there. That's some fairly normal mods that I would do to a Marshall. That's fairly subtle ones. Then what should we do? So let's bring in. Let's keep the gain up high on the gain control, and we'll bring in the 0.001 coupling cap. Out. Get the bloated low end. Bring it in, and it will tighten up. For the big one, this is all the mods engaged now. killer, yeah? I think you really almost get like an Appetite for Destruction vibe with it. It's got that hairy, trebly. If we take out that 220k over the volume, which was cutting again, you get an even hairy. And we haven't even brought in the resonance control yet, so let's bring this up a little. Where are you? Bring that 220k back in. Let's get the Explorer. So here we are with my Grassroots GMX 48 EMGs. So I've just changed the IR on this to, again, EAS Studios. This is his 1999 oversized Mesa 412, again mic'd with the M160. Again, fairly central to the cone, maybe just slightly off. I think it's number 44. He uses the numbering system from, he's got one of those robot mics. I just threw this on, I sucked a little bit of the mids out on the amp, and just with this IR, I was fairly shocked how close this is. So in '84, they were using, rumour has it, Jose modded Marshalls back then. I know I'm using the wrong guitar, and they wouldn't have had the Mesa 412. It would have been, I think it was 65 Marshall 65 speakers, probably some greenbacks, maybe some 30s. No one's 100% sure, but this is pretty shockingly close. sounds pretty dead on to me. And that's not with me doing any work as I would normally do, putting into getting a tone like that. So when we do Ride the Lightning, this is going to be the amp we're going to use. Right, back on my favourite cab, this time Mike with an SM57 off axis. I'll drop tune now. Okay, we're back with the Les Paul. I'm in the low channel. All the mods are off at the moment. Now, on the low channel on a 2203, it gets really overlooked on the 2204 as well. It's a really good clean channel. So I've got the gain maxed out, and it's kind of, it bypasses a gain stage, so you're almost in a Plexi territory, but it never quite sounds like a Plexi because you've got higher impedance going on, or the lower impedance, sorry, because you're missing out one of the resistors when you're going in through the high channel. But with these mods, there's a wee trick we can do. So if we, what we'll do, we'll bring the master maxed, because obviously there's no master volume in a Plexi. Let's see. So we'll just crank this. So bring the mid. So everything is on 6. It's a Plexi. If we bring in bypass cap on the V1, so I now got a super lead and a modded JCM 800 in the same amp. Let's have a play with some of the other options. Put the fat cap in. Granted, I'm using a low box, so I'm not destroying anyone's ears because that will be loud. But as a studio tool, I think you could do a lot worse than do these mods to either a 2204 or a 1987X. I would never do this to a vintage amp because you need to drill holes in it. I just wouldn't. If someone gave it to me to do it, I'd refuse a job. I was not going to do it to this. But I recommend get a reissue amp. The Marshall reissues are fine. You'll hear loads of bullshit on the internet about, oh, they're not made the same. They use pretty much the same PCB they've had in the 70s. If not, it's been refined. It has hum balancing on it. You can get rid of some of the background noise on it. And if you want to mod a Marshall, I say go and get one. If you want to make it easier on the tech, go and buy the hand-wired Super League. Again, it can be converted into a 2203, 2204 if you get the 50 watt 87, and then you can do these mods to your heart's content and to drill some holes in it because it's not as valuable. But I say, as a studio tool, just tweaking around, you can go from pretty much get any classic Marshall tone out of the one amp. Thanks for watching. I know there's been a lot of talking, but there's been a fair bit of playing as well. See you later. And another thing, I know a lot of you watch this channel and you're not subscribed. If you enjoyed this and you want some more, I've got more Metallica coming up, I promise you. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see. Do you want to see some more repairs? Do you want more Metallica tones? Any tones, let me know. Laters.